Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. I hope everyone is doing well today. Thanks a lot for tuning in. Shout out to all the subscribers and big up to anyone new. So Anthony Joshua annihilates Francis Ngannou in 2 rounds in, a punch perfect performance really. Look, I hope Ngannou's okay. That's a golfing class right there. That's what happens when you fight a top guy that's active, that's powerful, in shape, and just basically has been in the gym, and is sharp. And obviously Tyson Fury, I think we can clearly see he was massively undercooked and underprepared, which we knew, but I just think he was grossly underprepared. And AJ was the most prepared he could be, and active as well. And I think Steve Kim just tweeted out earlier today, like fighters like him and Joseph Parker are like 9-0, in the last year, and that's no secret. Not inactivity, activity. They had 4 or 5 fights between them each, and 9-0. That's activity. It's a game changer really. But let's talk about the fight. In the fight keys to victory, I mentioned the jab. We all knew the jab would be important, but I did elaborate a little bit on the importance of variating the jab and showing Ngannou an educated jab, which he did. Meaning, changing the velocity on the jab, okay? Jabbing down, jabbing up there, feinting a little bit, foot feints. He was just gives a non-boxer so much to think about, all right? They don't know where the jab's coming from. And to be honest with you, when Ngannou turned southpaw, that was career suicide. Hopefully he comes back from this, but that could be a career suicide move. Now, turning southpaw is a massive no-no if you don't make it advantageous. I think it's a lot of fighters that do it that don't seem to gain an advantage from it. I think it's a silly thing to do, because there's so many things when you do switch southpaw that just don't work functionally, especially defensively. It looks cool, and it might think you're throwing your opponent off, but in reality that was the beginning of the end, because he caught a massive right hand. And the keys to victory, I said, straight punches. It wouldn't matter if it was southpaw or orthodox. His arms around here, and I did pull up a clip of Fury shooting that straight right hand. I was like, that's there for AJ all night long, because it's a straight shot down the middle. And Ngannou doesn't fight like this, he fights like this. And then, that was the first round. He dropped him hard. That was just to see the look on his face. I mean, that was a hard. He caught him at the end of the punch. Beautiful shot. I can't remember if he jabbed and then just feint the jab and then came in with the right hand, or I think it was maybe just a straight right hand. Either way, it landed bang on the chin, and Ngannou was basically not done, but that was a huge shot to recover from. Hard knockdown. And then in round 2, he mixed it up again. So again, this is the rhythm, all the rhythm he was changing, the velocity, up, down, straight right hands. Ngannou didn't know where the punches were coming from, and then he was doing a lot of over parrying, right? When you're parrying, if you're parrying jabs, which I think when he was southpaw, he was trying to parry the backhand a little bit. There's so many mistakes that was happening there from a non-boxer really, against a very advanced boxer now. AJ put on a very advanced performance, albeit against a basic fighter, but nonetheless, you still got to execute, and he did. And like I said, when he was shooting that straight right hand, then he came over the top a little bit with a curved it over his guard. Again, tried to reach out and parry it. Just didn't know how to defend. He was in the wrong place. Didn't have a step back game either. Didn't move his head. He was a sitting duck really. I thought the fight would go a little bit longer. I thought AJ would, jab him a bit more, and then I thought Ngannou's chin would hold up a bit better. But that right hand, people were questioning AJ's power. I saw pre-fight, a little bit, and look, at the end of the day, when you get a massive guy like that follows through, boom, and you bang on the chin where you keep your the opponent at the end of your punch, meaning the full force of the turn on that shot, and then the last shot too. Scientifically, like on this channel, I love to talk about punch technique and explore the science of a punch, right? Scientifically, when you're turning right here, the wrist flexors and wrist extensors in the front of the arm, all the muscles, the biceps, triceps, they were just turning like that in beautiful fashion. And that's a kinetic chain, right, that travels through your body from your hip hand, and you just look at it, boom, and again it's bang on his chin at the end of his punch, full force. And there's no man in the world that could probably stand up to that, to be honest with you. I mean, that was just a beautiful shot, perfectly timed, perfectly placed, accurate, and that was all she wrote. And he was basically, he was out, and he landed quite badly. His leg got all buckled up, and AJ, I like how he celebrated. Well, he didn't celebrate really, but he was very calm, and he was like, on to the next. I'm not going to really get too carried away with it. And Ben Davison, once again, he was very. He doesn't like to take credit, like a lot of people think he's very arrogant, but he's always giving the fighters credit. And congrats to them. That was, just a great performance. And I do worry about Ngannou's, just physical and mental state. I think he'll be okay because he is, a slightly different breed, it seems. But this is one of the reasons why probably fights like this should be, looked at a bit closer, and whether just because there's money getting dangled, someone's going to pay the consequence. And when you're in such a drastic, I couldn't believe there were some of the voting, like I think Fight Hub did a vote, it was like 4,000 votes, and 35% of people thought Ngannou was going to win that fight. And I'm not criticizing those that thought that. It is what it is. We all make bad picks, but I didn't give Ngannou much of a chance. And I think you got to look a bit closer at some of these. They're actually quite dangerous. That's a dangerous situation to put Ngannou in, it really is. It's a very dangerous situation. And he got annihilated, full scale annihilation, and it was a beautiful performance. And what's next for Anthony Joshua? Obviously Eddie Hearn is look, about a year ago I was very high on AJ coming back. You can watch the videos, and I was going to make a documentary. Maybe I probably will if Fury beats, well, I guess it doesn't matter. I think I'd like to see AJ fight Usyk as well, but it was called Return of the King because I had a strong feeling AJ would be back, even though it was a popular opinion at the time is AJ was done, and I was like, nah, he's trying to get the best out of himself. He's doing what he can. I believe in him, I really did, and I kept believing him. And the Hellenius fight, made me think a little bit, but I never gave up on him. And I'm so glad to see him do what he's doing, because he's done the things. He's taken him out of his comfort zone. He went to America, and he's still cool with Derek James, and he's still doing what he's trying to find, and he still gave credit to all these trainers as well. And the amount of abuse he's taken from fighters over the years, especially the Furies, and even the fans too, he's rose to the occasion, and that takes a lot of character. And I'm on this channel, I'm all about character, and I'm very pleased to see him doing what he's doing and rising back to the top. And the Return of the King is on his new chapter, and is on his not final stages, well, maybe you could say final stages of his journey back to the top, back to reign again. And I hope he does. I really do, because he'll deserve it, because he's put the work in. He's taken the abuse, and he had that meltdown, which was probably the best thing for him. And it's nice to see even Eddie Hearn. I'm not a big fan of promoters, but he's believed in himself, and he's had his low moments, and you got options. I've really got to charge. I've got to charge this up a bit next time. It keeps failing on me. You've got options when you what was I saying? Yeah, when you take an L, okay, or many L's, you've got options. You can moan about it, or feel sorry for yourself, and not really be willing to really dig your heels in and get back to where you were, where you can be, or you can just give up, or just sort of keep kind of doing what you're doing in the middle. Or do you want to just push on and get the best out of you where you can go? Because I still think we probably haven't seen the best of AJ, and it's quite frightening to see he could reign again. He could, because if you look at the landscape of the heavyweight division in terms of who can actually challenge him, I mean, which young heavyweights right now are up? Joseph Parker's obviously had a tremendous year, had another good victory over Zhang, and I guess he's in the mix. I think, I don't know about Wilder. It's interesting. There's a bit of a shake-up going on right now, but we'll see what happens with Fury Usyk. But after that, AJ could reign again for a while. He really could. And, I'll be really pleased for him and happy for him when he does. But, I'm always happy for fighters when they really try to get the best out of themselves. It's a beautiful thing for the sport, and it really is. So credit to him. Hopefully Francis Ngannou's okay. I don't know what he's going to do next. Should he really be back in the ring with top heavyweights? Probably not. If you're prepared and you can punch a little bit, he's a sitting duck. Do you know what I mean? If you know how to set your punches up just remotely, straight 1-2s, you know. Don't ever go southpaw again, Francis. Goodness me. In terms of AJ, look, he had another slightly weird post-fight interview. It's a bit cryptic, but, you know, he did say some okay things. But I don't know. I'm assuming he's waiting for the Fury-Usyk winner. And then we'll see what happens there. But that's exciting. I would like to... both of those fights appeal to me, to be honest with you. Fury, AJ, I know that's a bigger fight. I know that would be the UK major event. Eddie Hearn called it the biggest fight in boxing ever. I don't think it's that, but look, it's a huge fight. So we'll see. Let me know your thoughts if you got to catch the fight. And yeah, I'll be back in the next day or two with some more videos. I hope you guys have a great weekend. See you later.
Boxing.
On the edge.